Hello, everybody, and welcome to our 9th webinar for job seekers. Welcome to everybody who's new to our webinar and to all our regulars as well. We're delighted to be here today. So who are we? We are initially Employ Mum, and then we rebranded to add Employflex as well to our business last year. So we're a flexible recruitment agency. We're all about flexible work. So that could be part-time, it could be job share, it could be remote work, it could be compressed hours, it could be term time, or it could be annualized hours, or a mix of all of the above. So we also offer back to work workshops, and we usually do these in Bank of Ireland, but because of COVID, we brought these online and we do them now every Thursday at 3 o'clock. So this is where we are here today. And we also do some training as well, and we have a range of different types of training that is available if you want to contact us about that. Well, today we are absolutely thrilled to have Sharon Huggard as our guest. Sharon is a busy mum of 3. She's a wife and business owner, and she is the award-winning and internationally certified personal stylist and coach. She has over 10 years experience in styling women, and she has been creatively enabling personal transformations for her clients with how they look on the outside and feel on the inside. So Sharon is really quickly establishing herself here as a style guru in Cork and further afield. I myself have attended a number of events that she has hosted, and I just love her down-to-earth manner and her practical advice, and you're definitely going to come away with lots of tips, and I'm really looking forward to this myself. Sharon previously worked in financial services for 14 years, and then she took some time out with her young children. And she draws on her personal and professional experience to reshape lives. And so we're very, very lucky to have Sharon along with us here today. And as I said, I personally am really, really looking forward to the tips because I'm online every day doing interviews and webinars. So I do need a hand with my style online as well. And just for a little bit of housekeeping, if you haven't been on a webinar before, if you scroll over the bottom of your screen, you will see the questions and answer feature. So this is how we're going to communicate today. And as Sharon is going through her presentation, Sharon is going to go through her presentation now. It will last for about 30 minutes. And at the end of it, then she'll answer any questions that you have. So any questions that pop up while she's going through the presentation, just pop them into the questions there and she'll answer them at the end. Okay, so Sharon, if you can unmute yourself and show yourself there.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Sharon.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
We're delighted to have you. So listen, I don't know much about style, so I'm going to sign off now for half an hour and leave it.
You always look so stylish. So yeah, you do. I'm sure you could teach me a thing or two.
I doubt it. Anyway, over to you, Sharon, and I'm looking forward to this now.
Thank you so much. Thanks, William, Karen. Thank you. So yeah, my name is Sharon Huggard, and thank you for the lovely introduction. And I'm today going to go through a few tips and kind of really, I suppose for me, it's kind of about setting yourself up for success. So there will be obviously the style elements, but it'll also be about confidence and building your confidence, because I think especially going to an interview, and I suppose now more than ever in these kind of uncertain times, confidence is key. So I'm going to bring I suppose my philosophy is empowering women through style. So I'm going to share my screen now with you, and you'll kickstart the presentation. And I hope you can all see that. Just bring it up into. Now, so yeah, that's kind of I suppose dressed with impact, and that's really important for what we're going to talk about today, and the topic of going for interviews and first impressions. And for me, and I suppose COVID taught us that as well. It's not about obviously it's dressing for other people, and in interviews you are obviously trying to get a point across and trying to impress people, but it's also how dressing makes you feel and impacts you. So that's really, really important for me. So Karen kind of very nicely gave me a lovely introduction. So thank you very much. So yeah, for me, it's really, really all about it's the inside and outside. I was a fashion stylist for 10 years, and to be honest, I fell slightly out of love with it. Not, for me, it was kind of really what I wanted to do was say with women, I wanted to help empower them. I wanted to help them dress. I wanted to give them the tools. And it was great. I was able to help them, but then I knew when they left me, they were maybe not after learning anything from it. So really what I wanted to do, I merged my coaching and the styling. And I think, it's having a profound effect and transforming women and, their confidence, which is what I'm absolutely passionate about. Okay, so yeah, what I do is really, really it's very simple. It is, I help women create an outfit and wardrobe. If you don't have it in your wardrobe, you can't wear it. So it's kind of, I give them the tools to, have a wardrobe that reflects their style, which is really, really important. I'm not about having little mini-me's running around the place, and it's not about putting my stamp on, making you into me, or it's about really, really you being yourself, dressing for your body shape, dressing for your lifestyle, dressing for your style personality. So it's really, really, that's really important to me. It's not about me, it's about you. And it's all about confidence. So we're going to merge the style and the confidence, and how you look on the outside and the inside. So that's really, really important for interviews as well. So the first step we're going to talk about is first impressions. First impressions are so important. And I think, on Zoom, it can be a little bit trickier, but that doesn't mean that we can't take steps to, help us. And, at the moment, it's kind of, we have to control the controllables. And you look at things that we can control and we have power over. So we don't have power over, COVID, and when, interviews will go back face to face, but we have control over, and that's really what I'm going to try and give you a few tips on today, is to control the controllables. So I would encourage you to think of yourself now as a brand going forward. You're not just somebody going for an interview. You're creating a brand, you're creating a package. One tip I would give you is to Google yourself incognito. I don't know how to do that, but just Google incognito, and because if you have stuff on your browser, it'll just pull that up. So Google yourself and see what is going to come up. Is there any images that you don't want? Either get them removed if you can, or remove them yourself, because employers are Googling and are looking at your social media, and that's just the age that we live in. So Google yourself and see if you're happy with what shows up. So that's kind of a tip. Smile, really, really important. I think even more so on Zoom, because as you can see, you can only see from here up. So you're quite limited. You're not getting a lot of kind of, little subtle nuances of body language and things like that. So smiling is really, really important. And people mightn't remember what you said in an interview. They probably will be taking notes furiously, but they will remember how you made them feel. So that's really, really important. So making a good impression is great kind of to get in the door. And then it's all about confidence and being prepared. And we're going to talk about those as well. And so first impression is about building rapport with people. So confidence is a skill. Some people say, are you born with confidence? I'm not a confident person. It's a skill. I wouldn't have done a Prayer of the Faithful a couple of years ago, and that is the truth. But I didn't start coming on webinars and start giving workshops straight away. It's a skill. I had to get outside my comfort zone. And I think, that's what we all have to do. Growth, is at the other side of your comfort zone. And we mightn't like it. All I would say is take small steps. Don't go from A to, as I said, I didn't go from not doing a Prayer of the Faithful to giving, talks in front of a couple of hundred people. So small little steps, and then you build momentum. But getting outside your comfort zone, not too far out. Again, as I say, it's kind of the stretch zone. So it's not too far out that you can't see yourself doing it and it sends you into overwhelm and panic. That's not what we want. But it's about testing yourself. It is a practice. It really, really is. You have to take action. Again, it's kind of the feeling, oh, I'll wait till I feel confident and then I'll do it. Spoiler alert, actually the feeling comes first. You feel confident, then you do it. It's, it's kind of, like going to the gym. You don't ever feel like going to the gym or going for a walk, but when you do it, you feel great. So it's taking action, all these things, and it mightn't be perfect. We're going to talk about, you know, taking perfect action. It mightn't be perfect, and that's okay, because the next time you learn. And again, you know, what I want to say is there's no failure, only learnings. Well, it's failure if you don't learn. So just yeah, go easy on yourself, practice, build a bit of momentum, take small steps, you know, build that muscle, and to take imperfect action and learn from it. That's kind of the view, kind of. So it's kind of not, it's not something you can say, I don't have it. You can learn it, the skill. So mindset is really, really important going into an interview and pushing yourself out there. So what I'd often do is visualize the outcome, and this is really, really good tip for interview. So it's so for an example, you know, when I go into a workshop, I will visualize literally down to the smallest detail of, I drove there in my car, the traffic was you know, flowed, there was no back, I got there in time, you know, literally everything how I wanted people to feel on the evening, come away with. I want, you know, look, the more detail and the more vividly and the bigger you can make this visualization, and the more senses you use, the better outcome it'll have. You know, I'd visualize, you know, the smell of, it could be the coffee at break, it could be the champagne on arrival, and it could be somebody's perfume, it could be just, and then, you know, this, I want to see the smile in the face, the nod and the engagement, people enjoying themselves. So again, for the interview, visualize your outcome. What is your best outcome from this? And visualize, you know, maybe the interviewers nodding, green, smiling, you know, kind of the more detail and the more senses you can bring into it, the better. That's one tip. Again, watch your internal dialogue. I know I'm not the only one that has voices in my head. So just watch the internal dialogue. It'll, you know, be telling you that you're not enough and what you're doing going for this job. And I know, you know, research has showed that women, you know, if there's a list of 10 things that they look at, you know, and they can't do 3 of them, they'd say, oh no, I won't go for this job. Whereas men will look at it and they can do 3 of them and they will go for it. So it's just watch the dialogue. And again, that's probably maybe pushing yourself outside. I'm not saying to go for a job that you're not qualified for, but again, just, you know, we are sometimes our worst critic. So just watch the internal dialogue. And one thing I read recently, which was I found quite amusing, was, you know, if it's saying you're not good enough and why should you go for this job and you haven't enough qualifications and you this, that, and the other. First of all, Katie Byron Katie has a brilliant, it's called The Work, and she just asks, there's 4 steps, and I never get past the first step. It's always, the first question is that true? And the answer is nearly always no, it's not. So that alone just kind of dissipates that it's not true. And second of all, the thing I read the other day was, get the voice to do it in a Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck voice, and then you just end up laughing, and it just kind of totally dissipates the whole kind of negative internal dialogue. Breathe, again, really, really, really important going into an interview. Just ground yourself before the interview, you know, with box breaths or whatever you need to do. Another idea is, I know that none of us during the day all breathe probably far too shallow. And this will be very much true when you're put into a situation that's outside your comfort zone, and you're nervous. So breathe. Again, maybe there's an app called Chime, really, really good app. You can set it for every hour, you know, maybe the day before the interview. Again, you could do it every day yourself anyway. And just set it for every hour and just take in the breath and breathe. And maybe it's your choice. It could be just breath and connecting with your breath, or it could be the box breath. Again, affirmations, really, really good, really powerful. You could even have it and post it, you know, on your computer while you're doing the interview, saying, I am are really, really powerful ones. I am enough. I am confident. Again, make them I am, and make them present tense as well. So not I will be, you're owning it, and you are. If it's a stretch and you're kind of saying something that you just don't connect with, don't use it. You could say something like, you know, if you are trying to build your confidence, you could say, I am confident, and taking a step to become more confident every day, or something like that. So you just feel, you don't feel it. You have to feel aligned with it, and you have to feel it. Again, the Amy Cuddy purpose, again, good thing about interviews is that you have the chance to do these at home. You can go into the bathroom and take your box breaths, and you can go in, you can have your little post-it notes, and you can have your affirmations around your screen. And you can do your Amy Cuddy. She's a fabulous TED Talk, and I'd recommend anybody to look at it. It's about power posing, and just you know, it's your Superman, Superwoman pose, you know, your hands on your hips, shoulders open, so you're opening and you're changing your physiology. So you are first of all, you're taking in breath and you're breathing, and second of all, you're just, it's your body is changing, and it's kind of you know, giving you more confidence, and you're holding yourself in that way. So it's just a really good resource to actually maybe give that. And Superwoman and Superman pants are optional as well. Maybe not for the interview, but again, setting yourself up for success, really, really, really important. And again, this is something you can totally have control over at the moment. So research the business and the company that you're going for an interview. I remember, I'll show you my age now. I remember, you know, when I was out of college and going for jobs, and we used to have to ring the reception for brochures to be sent out. That's yeah. So it's come a long way since that. So there is infinite resources on the web for the business. So there's absolutely no reason that you should not know about the business that you are interviewing for. Again, one of the things you can do is research the dress code and have a look at maybe their social media, any of their brochures, any of their, and you can kind of gauge how, you know, what their dress code and culture is like. Again, prepare and practice. So you are in your mind and you're practicing your questions, and I would say to you, just practice them out loud, because it's very different hearing your voice saying them. So get used to saying that. You can even just turn on Zoom and not have a meeting, but you can just have a meeting with yourself, and you know, just kind of practice to it. Practice, you know, I'll give you some tips now later on for Zoom in particular, or Skype, whatever, and just, you know, have that, you know, prepare and practice out loud, because it is very different going around in your head. Just vocalize it. So dressing with impact. Dressing with impact is really, really important. So a few things. It shows you're serious about the job. It is respectful to the employee or the interviews and employers, and, you know, to the company. It shows that you're genuinely interested in the position. So it would, I would say to you, match your outfit with what I spoke about before, is the company's work, you know, dress code. Also match them with their values. And I know it's really, really difficult, because I have clients that are solicitors, and they would have a very different dress code than somebody, you know, like the Googles and the Facebooks of this world, that it's very, very casual. So, you know, you can take a lead from that, but still at the same time, I wouldn't be, you know, kind of wearing my hoodies and my ripped jeans in just yet until you get the job. And then you can kind of see what the dress code is like. But yeah, I would definitely be, you know, just, it's a really good idea to kind of have a look. But it's not only you dressing for them as well, but you're dressing for yourself. Like if I came on today in a tracksuit, first of all, you would have a very different impression of me, and what I could be saying the exact same thing, but you wouldn't be listening to me, because you'd be saying she's wearing a tracksuit, and she's a stylist, and she's telling us what to wear. So it's about, and I certainly would not be confident sitting here on a hoodie and, you know, grand if you're on a training course or something like that, from home. And I think we all had our moments, and our leggings got great wear over the last couple of months. But I think it's time to come out now. But yeah, no, so, and I certainly wouldn't feel confident sitting here in my kind of casual clothes, kind of thrown back, and kind of, you know, again, I always wear, it's just a personal thing, but I always wear heels when I'm either pitching or talking to a client or doing something like this. It just, again, it's not for anybody else, it's for me. And at the moment, you know, you're dressing for you. And things like, you know, I know it's only the waist up, but I wouldn't wear my pajamas bottoms or my leggings underneath, because it's the message you're sending yourself. If you want to be six-figure Sarah, you know, six-figure Sarah, isn't sitting at home in her tracksuit pants giving interviews. So just embody and be the person that you want to become. Even, you know, put on your best perfume. Again, it's just kind of sending that message and just setting you kind of up for success, and telling yourself that you're worth it. Getting maybe your nails done. Again, you could be just painting yourself. I know, thank God, all the hairdressers and the beauticians and all the rest of it are open and they earn their keep. I think at the moment. Again, I just painted my nails, and I'm not going to lie, I did them this morning. Again, nobody else would notice, but it's just, even it kind of shows an employer as well, is the level of detail that you've gone to. That's something that you could bring to the job. Again, for me, if I had 20 euro, my last 20 euro, I wouldn't spend it on a top. I'd spend it on getting my hair done. I just think it's super. I just think you feel amazing. Again, good luck with getting an appointment before August. But again, it could be just something at home. Again, it could be just, you know, style the front of it. But it's just about little small details and about making yourself feel good. And it's not about looking like somebody else. You have to look like yourself. And you know, you have to kind of, I suppose, be comfortable. It's kind of just the best version of yourself, just a little bit. You're online. It doesn't have to be too, unless you're intimate. It doesn't have to be too dramatic. It's just that, it's just, again, you just feel a little bit better. I know you never thought I'd be talking about underwear on an employment seminar, but yeah, again, even small things down to underwear, nobody else will see it, only you. And you've got, you know, and it's just giving you a bit of self-confidence and setting you up a little bit of self-esteem. So again, they're all just very small things to, you know, to kind of help you. What I really do with clients is I kind of get them a working wardrobe that they can mix and match. My mantra is fewer clothes, more outfits. And I help women in business, mainly women in business, create their signature style. So it just takes the overwhelm out of what to wear, and it's just that they feel more confident and they step up, and they're thriving in life and in their jobs as well. So that's just the 7-step signature style system that I have devised. I won't go into it too much today. This is kind of what I do with my clients. It's the body shape, style, personality, your shade, your best colours. I'll touch on that now in a minute. Your wardrobe, sorting your wardrobe. As well, on my website, www.sharonhuggard.com, in the About Me section, there is a free downloadable declutter guide. It's a 5-page step-by-step declutter guide. So if you want to pop on and get that. Again, that spelling annoys me every time I see it. Your wardrobe staples. It is, really, for me, that is key. If you don't have it in your wardrobe, you can't touch it, you can't wear it. If you can't see it and you don't have it, you can't wear it. So it's about getting key pieces. Everybody's budget is different. So what I would say is buy your key pieces as best as you can. Again, it's not about Mary up the road, what she has, or what it's about, what you can afford. And then every year you kind of inject a little bit of fun and kind of fashion in with what's coming in for the season. And that's how you kind of inject them through, accessories or, colors that are in. So you have your staples, and then as one tip as well, is the less detail you have on something, the more longevity you'll have in it. And something you don't want, you just want to have a bit of fun, and you want, it's fashion after all, and you want to have a bit of fun with it, but wear it to death that season and enjoy it. And then stamp your style. For me, that is absolutely critical, that it's all about you and your personality, and stamping your style on it. And again, we tie it all off with self-esteem and self-care and self-confidence, all the selves. Okay, so we have the impact of colour, just at an interview. So I want George just to take a moment just to humour me. Just close your eyes I invite you to close your eyes for 1 second if you feel comfortable with it. And just think about an outfit or a colour that you put on and you just feel incredible wearing. You probably end up kind of smiling, and you kind of just feel this kind of confidence. So colour is really, really important in an interview. Again, what I would choose is I would choose solids over pattern in an interview. in an interview, again online, you could be clashing with the back, the curtains in the background. And again, we'll go through a little bit of detail on the Zoom later on. And it's busy. It's like your eyes zip, 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 zip over all the different, the flowers or butterflies or, whatever they are as well. So for an interview where you just want them to be listening to what you're saying, I would opt for a black colour. And I'd opt for neutrals over kind of bold statement colours. Again, when you get your foot in the door and your first day, you can do that. Again, neutral black again is, as I wear my black, and that's only just so I could wear my headband, to be honest. Black is a really good colour, but then sometimes it can be really, really boring and not. It totally depends on the role that you're going for. As I say, clients of mine are solicitors, a few ladies, and they're mad to inject a little bit of, personality in. And one lady, she kind of wears her shoes is her thing, or her handbag is her pop of colour, because they are really restricted in what they can wear and how they have to come across. And that's where they can have fun at their weekend and their downtime wardrobe. Again, navy's a good colour. It's less harsh on you as well than black. And just royal blue again is a lovely colour. Red is mixed. It can be very daring, passionate, kind of show that you're fiery as well. So maybe I kind of keep these to maybe a tie if you're a man, if you are wearing a tie, or kind of more accessories. And colours are great. They can lift and boost you, and that's what you want when you're going for an interview as well. So the technology, I think we never thought we'd be so intimate with Zoom. So just, the lighting is really, really important. What I would do is I would get my phone, go around the house with it on selfie mode and see where is a good place for lighting. And generally a window in front of you. I have a window in front of me here. And believe me, I didn't have the window in front of me this morning when I was on a training call, and it wasn't good. It was like bags and all the rest of it. And that's one thing as well I would say to you is, don't look at yourself on the screen, and then you start fixing, oh God, look, this thing now is falling down here, or look at that thread or whatever. So just try not to look at yourself, look in the camera. Because you're connecting, that's what they're saying. If you're looking down here and you're looking over there, and that's the one bit of rapport and the one bit of connection that you really do have when you're on camera, is to is to kind of look at them and engage with them. Then nod, smile, engage. So go around the house and see where you have somewhere that has good lighting, and then you can set yourself up there. And just watch for kind of shadows. You can always put a lamp. If you don't have anywhere, you put a lamp at the other side of your PC as well, and that kind of gives you a bit of kind of natural light. Flattering angles, still to this day, we find them in RTE, and you can see their chin and up their nose and the ceiling and all the rest of it. Raise it up, raise the PC or the laptop up on something, so you're looking at them as if you would be looking at their eye level, and it's more flattering than having all the double chins and all the rest of it. Again, notes. What I would say is you absolutely can have notes around your screen, or if you have a wall or something behind it, big A4 pages, and don't write every single thing that you want to have down. Maybe there's a few key points you would really like to get across, do that. Again, we kind of touched on the grooming. Keep it kind of simple, no distractions, no having, like big plant behind you. I know I was on to one girl, and she was saying that she was on a call, and there was, plants that looked as if it was growing out of someone's head. All these just really small, again, noise distractions. I know it's really difficult, but look, if you can clear the house, I'm not going to lie, my husband went back to work today after being off since, well, not off, I've been working from home since March, and I have two of my other kids are off, and my eldest is out here, and he's in total control. He's not allowed to turn on Wi-Fi, and he's in charge of the dog for this hour. So to bribe, do whatever you have to do, pay them. Just get rid of people, turn off your phone. You don't want any interruptions like that, or that kind of thing. So I've gone through the business dress code, I think. Again, just err on the side of caution, dress how you how you want, how you feel kind of really empowered, and what to say, dress for the job you want, not the job you have. So mistakes to avoid, I kind of touched on that, lack of engagement and eye contact. Again, that is the one big advantage you have at the moment, is you are this size and you have, you can obviously not eyeballing them. And again, nodding and agreeing. I know it's easy for me now in this situation because I can say what I want without, and sometimes if there's 4 or 5 people on and someone's asking a question, it's all a little bit, no, you go. So it's a little bit more difficult, but don't be afraid of pauses, don't be afraid to stop and let somebody, or once you say you go, don't do Mrs. Doyle on it, and you go. Just if someone says you go, you work away. Again, just provocative clothing. I know it's not that you should be wearing anything provocative, but it's just things like buttons on a top or a shirt. Just watch when you're sitting down, especially if you kind of have a large chest. Buttons do, when you sit down, buttons do, gape. So just be careful of that. Or even I was on a training webinar last night, and she's a gorgeous girl, but her top was quite low, and it was kind of small bit distracting. Again, just I'm not a prude, believe me, but again, just for an interview, and when you are only showing literally that amount of yourself, just be careful. Again, you don't want to be too trendy unless it's kind of more a progressive company, but you don't want to be outdated either, because then that maybe shows lack of growth and progression, or you're not going with the times, or so. It's there's a fine balance between being kind of out of date and being then kind of too current. Again, watch flashy accessories, big earrings, anything like that. I think that's kind of distracting. I kind of would keep it all again to a minimum until you get in the door. Statement clothes, anything with like slogan t-shirts, anything like with soccer, anything that kind of, or even very designer-y labels. Again, that just can be something that is maybe a personal choice and might just rub somebody up the wrong way. And we're talking about the first impressions as well, and not judging a book by its cover. And that's all grand in a world that but unfortunately people do judge a book by cover, and you only have a couple of seconds to make a good impression. So you want it to be, start off on the right foot. So communication through style, and that's really, what I help people do. So what I would ask you is, what I know I was on the Elaine show earlier on in the year. It seems like a lifetime ago now, and that people were able to move around and go on panels and all the rest of it. But I had said to her something about, could have asked the question of, what do you want to say about yourself? She was like, oh my God, that's a very deep question. She said something that she'd never ask herself. But I suppose in interviews, what values do you want to portray? What do you want to say about yourself? And are they aligned with the company's values as well? So that's kind of really, really important. And how do you want to show up in the world? And what do you want to say about yourself? Embody this. We've talked about setting yourself up for success, and you want the job, and so embody that and dress for and dress for that role and for that person. Again, what I would say to you, I don't know if anyone else is like this as well. Even when I was preparing for this, I would be all, things would come into my head, and I'd be like, oh my God, that'd be great to say. And then I come on here and say, if you had notes and you were so, kind of focused on just saying those things. So what I would say is prepare. Without a doubt, prepare. I don't know if I said it enough. Prepare. And but then once you've prepared, let it go. Disconnect from your head, and kind of, that's where your breathing and all the rest of it will come in as well, and disconnect a little bit from your head and move into your heart space. I know it's maybe a bit woo-woo, and then what will come out will come out. But once you've prepared and you've said, and they've been on this beating up after, oh, I didn't say that and I forgot to say that. You said what you were meant to say. Again, there is I just wanted to touch on kind of having an anchor point, maybe on a desk or something like that, because again, you're at home, and again, just use every advantage you can. Have the little bit of notes. Again, I'd have the notes up near the camera or behind it, so you're not kind of frantically. And again, bullet points. I have a candle light in here. I'll show you my Le Bouger West Cork candle. And I have it light in here. First of all, it's just lovely, kind of it grounds me, and second of all, it kind of can be an anchor. You can have an anchor set up that when you look at it, you just take a breath. So it's kind of just even in the middle of the interview, it's grounding you. So clothes really are important. There was a study done. It was called Enclothed. It's called Enclothed Cognition. So what, I know it's a bit heavy on a Thursday afternoon, but what it is, it was a setup, it was a study done with two lab coats. So one was a doctor and one was set up as a painter. And it was just really fascinating to read that the way that the person that was now a doctor felt about themselves. They felt more intelligent, they felt more confident, they felt smarter, and how people treated them. So it just really shows the power and the psychology of clothes on you and the impact it can have on your confidence as well. And as I say, I would consider yourself a brand going into this. You know, you're the whole package on what you want to say about yourself and how do you want to, you know, be seen. So that's me. Are you ready to transform your style, transform your confidence, and to transform your life? And I have just, if you want to get in touch with me or if you want to follow me for any tips, I have, as I said, you can go onto my website, and in the About Me section there is the little thing to download the declutter guide if you wish. And I'm on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn as well. So if you have any questions, I would be delighted to answer them. And yeah, that's it. I just really want to thank you all for having me here today, and I hope that you've taken away a few tips, even if you just for a few minutes before we move on. Maybe you might just even take one thing or two things or three things that you just are going to be your takeaways, even just jot them down. That's another thing as well. You know, have a pen and paper you know, at your desk when you're doing your interview, because you know they might want you to take down details or that kind of thing as well. So just take a moment to do 1, 2, 3 max, because I know what I'm saying is gold. But you will forget some of it. So just maybe 3 things that resonated with you that you could go and implement. And I'd love to hear what they are as well. But just, yeah, that's really it, because you know it's important. You know, knowledge is not power, it's only if you implement it. So yes, I look forward and wishing you all the very best luck with your interviews, and just, as I say, put a few of those into practice and just go for it. Own it is what I'd say. Thanks a million.
That was super, Sharon. Thanks very much. I got a lot from that myself. If you can just stop sharing your screen there, then we can be on the screen there. Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, I definitely agree that you know, how you look really reflects on how you feel. You know, you just feel so much more confident when you're looking good. You look, you know, and you can bring that to an interview or an online meeting. As we're all online at the moment.
Yes.
I also loved the part about the visualization, you know, and I do that myself. I always visualize my parking spot wherever I'm going.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10 it happens, you know, I visualize myself reversing into the parking spot right in front of the butchers, and generally it does happen. Like, so that's a good one as well.
And if you can visualize that, you can visualize the same energy to visualize, you know, you getting the job or you being in the job, or you know, all the rest of it. So yeah, it is powerful.
Yes, definitely. It's definitely a powerful tool to have in your box of tricks, I think, if when you're going for an interview, you know. From a recruiter's point of view, yeah, I think the dress code is really, really important to research that and to dress accordingly. And I would dress up as if I was going to a physical premises, you know, even when you're going for an online interview, so that, you know, you put on the same clothes that you would as if you were going to meet. And as you said yourself, Sharon, that just shows an element of respect as well for the people who are, you know, you're taking time to go to the interview, but they're taking time to interview you as well. So, yeah. and gets you in the zone as well, you know.
Yeah,
So
it's absolutely, for me, for me, definitely, it's, yes, okay, obviously there's an element of dressing to impress in an interview, but it's really about getting yourself in that space that when you're feeling confident, you just feel much better yourself. And if a question comes a bit left field or something, you're just in a much better position to deal with it.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, it's really important.
Yeah. Now, Sharon, there are loads of questions coming in here.
Oh,
Okay. So we'll just start going through them here. Catherine asks, what is generally the dress code for a care assistant in an all-age care service? Would you recommend trousers or a skirt?
And what I would, for an interview, you see sometimes what you wear for a job and what you'll be wearing in the job are very different, and sometimes they be the same. So in that role, I would go business. I think, again, I would maybe do a bit of research and ask people that are already in the job or have gone for interviews, maybe what they have worn, because in that there's a very clear difference between what you'll be wearing, because in the care assistant role, it'll be something that, you know, it might be kind of it'll be a uniform, maybe a trousers or something that you can move about and you're comfortable in. But then that wouldn't be what you'd wear to an interview. But then I wouldn't necessarily feel that I'd have to wear a corporate suit either. So a jacket, and the one thing about a jacket does actually give a feeling of confidence. It's like the heels, it just does. Again, so it could be a very soft jacket. It doesn't have to be, the dynasty and, and a lot of the jackets are much softer now. When I'm talking about softer, I'm talking about a softer fabric, that it's not as corporate-y. Again, you could roll up maybe one of the sleeves, and even some of the sleeves of blazers now have that kind of scrunchel. So it's just taking that. I know I've suits upstairs where they're gone, but they were kind of, when I was in my corporate days, and they were much bigger. They were real corporate-y, whereas now what people wear are kind of, I call it maybe a blazer rather than a suit, a blazer, and then you can maybe just wear a cami underneath it, so you don't have to go to, and wear, I suppose, whatever you feel better. I mean, a trouser suit is perfect, and just wear a cami underneath it. Then you don't have to go full power suit, or kind of a nice day dress, as well. That again isn't too, obviously not summery, and you're not skipping off to the beach in it. But it might be no harm maybe asking people in the area what they have worn previously as well, but just something that gives you confidence. I think a nice trousers and a soft jacket, it could be, and a little cami underneath it would be a really good option as well.
Great. Okay, so Margaret is asking, actually, speaking of trouser suits, what do you think of wearing a trouser suit to an interview or an initial business meeting, either in person or in Zoom? Obviously, this is from a woman's perspective.
Again, I just think trouser suits are, they're very much in vogue at the moment. They're just easy dressing. You don't have to think about it. And if you have a dress and is the right length, I mean, if you think about it, and I always remember people when they're on the late and they go to sit down in their dress, they were fabulous standing up, and they're at themselves all the time. What you don't want is to be pulling at anything. Again, one of the points that I was meant to make is, don't be at stuff on your, and gesticulating crazy, and it just kind of, just be really comfortable in yourself. If you're at something here and you see them on the late or that kind, and they sit down and they're trying to pull down the skirt, it was fine when they were standing. So just, again, I think a trouser suit is totally acceptable for a job interview. Again, if you knew somebody in that particular industry, because there is such a huge difference for different businesses and cultures and all the rest of it. A trouser suit and heel, and your lippy, I think it's very hard to beat it.
Yeah, I can't wear a trouser suit, actually. I don't know why, it just doesn't suit my shape. But and then
then I'd say don't. You always have gorgeous dresses. You wear dresses really, really well. But again, people then maybe that have a short dress again, and then the gape right across, so it's just whatever you're comfortable with, but it's just once you're smart, once you're look as if you're there to do business.
Yeah, and I think, just from a personal point of view and from people who go to interviews and people who I have interviewed, beware of if you transpire a lot, if you perspire a lot,
Yes.
make sure that the sweat stains don't show up. So
Yes.
if you're wearing a shirt or like a silky top,
Yeah.
and the sweat stains show, that is not a good look. So make sure whatever you're wearing is sweat proof.
Yeah, and it is. You are going to be under pressure, and
Yeah.
that is when it's, you know what I mean. That is when it's going to happen. You are going to go under pressure, so it is definitely a consideration.
Yeah. Comfort is king, I think, really, as well.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah. So Geraldine here is asking, have you any advice on makeup for an interview online?
I mean, I'm not. I'm laughing. My daughter has found makeup in the whole pandemic. She's just turned 13, and she came down. She asked me, could she have some of my makeup, and she was disgusted. I literally own about 5 things. I'm not very good at makeup. What I have on me, you might think it's, again, it's the lighting. So if you have good lighting, it will kind of it'll make up for it. I would kind of go quite easy on it. You can't really see, the features, very well. I think once you, like, I have a tinted moisturizer, a bit of bronzer, a bit of blusher, and very small bit of eye, and that's really it. If you love makeup and it's your thing, I'd keep it simple. Keep it focused on things that are really, if it was a case of spending, an hour on your makeup, or getting an hour in, that you were in the zone and that you were literally comfortable, I'd spend the hour, getting prepared and getting ready. Again, obviously, looking your best, but, even looking at yourself, myself, I can't really tell how much, I think that's one, another benefit of Zoom. I think it's quite kind of forgiving like that. You can't really tell, whereas if you were close to somebody face to face, you can kind of probably tell a little bit better.
Yeah, I think the lighting is the most important thing there, and we do the A to Z of Zoom as one of our webinars.
Yes.
And I think, the lighting is key there, really. And if you have the right lighting, really, you can get away with minimum makeup.
It's like your best friend.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so Catherine is asking, how do you figure out what shape they are? And maybe that's something that they might need to book in with you for.
Yeah,
Sharon,
they can.
or something.
If you want to my website or drop me a message, I have, I can do that. But for me, body shape is the most fundamental part of dressing, without a doubt. It's the first step and it's not about the size you are, it's about how you wear your size. I would have clients that, would need to, they want to lose weight. And they say, I'll come to you after I've lost the weight. And I always say, come to me before you've lost the weight, because you need to, it'll be easier to lose the weight when you feel good and you're taking steps and your body shape, or else you might, find clothes that work for you and you don't need to lose those few pounds. It's just you've been wearing the wrong shape. So yeah, definitely get in touch with me, and I can point. I'm actually going to be doing a live kind of little challenge over on my page the week after next. So yeah, get in touch with me.
And what's your page again there, Sharon, if you could repeat it for everybody?
Yeah, my website is www.sharonhuggard.com, and Facebook, I'm still a bit of a dinosaur. I do Instagram and LinkedIn as well, but Facebook is kind of where I kind of do a lot of my videos and that kind of thing. So follow me on Facebook, Sharon Huggard, the Style Coach.
Very good. Okay, so there's lots of thanks coming in. Aileen is saying thanks, lots of good tips there, and she loves the branding yourself idea. Kathleen is also saying thank you. Fiona loves the superwoman pose and she uses it regularly, so that's nice to hear.
It is, it's brilliant. And even just to watch that video, what I would say to you as well is, the more you surround you, I know it's kind of, you're some of the 5 people you spend your time with, but around an interview, listen to podcasts, watch TED Talk, just kind of raise your vibration, and surround yourself with kind of positive things like that is what I kind of say as well.
Okay. Just going through the questions here. Are there any colors that you should avoid online? Mary is asking here.
Anything that, I suppose, once you have your colours done, and that's something I do with people. So once you have your colours done, you can see what, you know, what are the ones that suit you and what pop. Again, anything that kind of you blend in, or you're kind of blending in with the background or clashing with the background. Try and keep your background to a minimum. And that's what one thing I would say to you is clear space. I mean, I'd love to turn around and show you. You can just see the absolute carnage over there. So it can be all, you know, smoke and mirrors. It does, nobody else needs to know, but just carve out a little space that looks well on camera, and that's, you know, less distractions.
Yeah.
So again, clashing colours, prints. Again, I would be careful of prints. Just again, it just, for the eye, it just has a lot of traveling to do. If you, or if, you know, that you're trying to make out, is that a butterfly or is that a, you know, that kind of thing. So black colours are good as well. But yeah, once you know your WOW colours, you'll be able to weave those in. I'm actually dealing with a lady at the moment, and she is doing her rebrand, and she's actually getting her colours done with me first to see what colours suit her, so she can introduce them into her business as well. So it's really interesting.
Very good. Still loads of questions coming through here, Sharon. So this is obviously
I'm not going anywhere.
So I don't know if this is in jest or not, but what if you're the only person in the office that is dolled up? Do you just strut your stuff?
Again, you know, obviously if it is a Facebook kind of environment and you go in dressed like, you know, you're going at a night out, or you're you know, in a solicitor's office, there is a mismatch there. But what I would say to you, I wouldn't kind of head in my ripped jeans and my slogan t-shirt just yet. I would go business casual.
Yeah, I think that's a safe bet. Yeah. Okay, from Alwyn, is it okay to wear a relatively formal dress with short sleeves or sleeveless without a jacket? I presume in an interview scenario. So should you? Is it okay to go sleeveless, I suppose?
It's not, I don't know, sleeveless, I think is a little bit casual for me. Even a cap sleeve, it's even a tiny bit of a cap sleeve. There's something that evokes kind of this kind of more carefree summer kind of vibe about a strap or kind of a sleeveless dress. And working with Irish women, their knees and their arms are the least favourite part of their bodies. So you don't want to be kind of going in and kind of feeling conscious of your upper arms or anything like that. Yeah, I don't ask me why, but I'm not a fan of them for an interview. I just, even the tiniest, you know, the way you even get, there's just something a little bit more professional, a little bit more polished about it. And that's what you're trying to look, I suppose. It's just kind of a little bit more, you know, put together and poised.
Yeah. So I suppose if you are wearing that sleeveless top or sleeveless dress, then throw a jacket over it.
Yeah,
or even a cardigan now.
The canopy sleeves, you know, you can get them literally anywhere. I know that the lady Sandra has that business, but like anything good, it's been, you know, copied, and you can get them, and they're just kind of say if you're wearing a black dress and it is sleeveless, it's just literally like a bra, and it's kind of a sheer. Again, that'll give just that little bit of coverage and just a little bit more professional kind of polished look, I think.
Okay, very good. So from an anonymous attendee, a little off topic, but I think Sharon is in the know on this also. Any good sunscreen, that works under makeup have had no success to date, and while many foundations have SPF, not high enough factor for my fair face.
I be honest, I use Image, and I do find it a little bit heavy under it. So if you message me, I will find out. I know the lady that Sharon Malone, she's in West Cork, and she is amazing on all things, and I will find out from her. So just if you message me, I will find out for you.
Okay, super. From Geraldine, should you start the Zoom interview seated, or should you stand throughout for better posture? What do you think of that?
I would sit down. Again, that's one thing as well I want to say to you as well, I forgot, is to make sure you log on in plenty of time, not too early, because then it's awkward. You're looking at them and they're looking at you. You could always just turn off your camera and mute yourself until, you know, the minute or two, but give yourself time to get on, because I've had kind of situations and you don't want to have gone to all this trouble of keeping yourself calm and your candle lighting, and then the next thing, and then it needs to update, and you're literally, the sweat is coming out through you, and it's just not a good vibe to be trying to backtrack from that. So just make sure you've given yourself, and you're on, and you can always put just make sure you've a kind of professional looking, maybe a headshot of yourself, but it's not you kind of out in your holidays, or that it's a professional shot. You can always unmute yourself and stop your video until they're ready, because you don't want to kind of looking at each other. So, but just that, but I would start seated. I think that because you can only see half your body, you don't, it'll be really awkward if they turn on the camera and you can only see your midriff. It's kind of, or even your back here. And I think anything that I've ever been on, everyone is seated.
Yeah, I think you're more focused. It depends on the type of job, I think, as well, that you're going for. If it is a creative job, or some salesy or high level marketing, it might be better if you're standing up. If you're giving a presentation, you might prefer to stand up. I think it comes down to comfort, what you're comfortable with. If you're normally working at a standing desk, and that's your workstation, that's how you should do your interview, because that's what you're comfortable with, and that's what you're normally, So so I think, again, depends on the type of job, depends what you're used to and what you're comfortable with,
Or even if you could kind of take their lead as well from it if they're sitting down, that kind of way. But then just make sure you have your camera angles, because if you have it set up that you're back there and I'm on a whiteboard back there, it'd be very different to coming. So just, you'll probably have to kind of decide about that before you set it up.
True.
But again, sometimes they might give you tasks to do in it, and it'll be much more interactive. So then, yes, absolutely, the freedom to do that.
Yeah. And for the the interactive whiteboards that you can use on Zoom and video conferencing tools, I would make sure that you're totally comfortable with that if you're giving a presentation on a whiteboard online as well. So get your head around that as well. And if they do ask you to do something, and you have told them already that you can do it, just make sure that you can do it, because they may ask you on the spot to do something, or give you a virtual tour of your office if you've told them that you have this lovely swanky office, and then you're actually sitting on your bed. So
dining board.
Yeah. So listen, there's just loads of thanks coming through there. Everybody is very happy with that. Found it all very informative. So it's coming up to the hour now, so we'll call it a day. And listen, a huge thanks to Sharon for giving up her time here today. And as I said, this is our 9th webinar, can you believe, during lockdown. So we're doing these webinars pro bono, and all our guests are as well. So to give back, maybe it would be nice if you give us a like or a share or a follow on social media. We are Employflex. And we'd be delighted to get some feedback from you online as well. So that would be just really well appreciated by us. And thank you all for coming. We'll be here again next week, same time, same place. And next week we have Anna Healy, who is a coach here in West Cork, and she's going to talk about confidence and how you can flex that confidence muscle while you're going for interviews or online. So we hope to see you next week. And again, a huge thanks to Sharon. I certainly picked up a lot of tips, and you won't recognize me next week. I'm going to be so excited. So thanks a million, Sharon. And again, thank you all for coming.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Bye.
Bye.